All right, how are you? I meant to again. I'm too slow on the draw. I poured, or I got this in here, but then I talked to the bartender for a minute, and I come up to and talk to my family. Then, so you don't see the head on here, but you can tell here. That's what I'm digging about this place is that they have these true pint glasses. I'm actually getting a pint of beer, and a pint is $4 of everything except their IPA. That's $5. It's not a bad price considering I'm actually getting a full pint pour. Most places I say they're giving you a pint, they give you a pint glass, but you get that much head. You're actually only getting a 12-ounce pour in most places. So I love this atmosphere here. I'm kind of digging it. I'm probably gonna. My family's downstairs. I'm out on a deck out here. They don't want to carry everything up, so I'm probably gonna go down there and do some videos from there too. I want to do from a couple different locations. But I wanted, while I was up here, I wanted to have one more. I had the honey basil ale, and this is their float trip ale. I believe it's 4.5%. I don't have internet up here, so I can't pull up the exact specs. So I'm just gonna put that in the notes of the video later. But I know there is some wheat in this. This is designed to be a lighter brew. It is float trip ale. Generally you take your lighter beers on the float trips. They come in 16-ounce cans. This is clear. There is some wheat in it though, so it's not an unfiltered wheat type of beer. But they do add a little bit of wheat to this bill. This is designed to have a little flavor, and it does much more flavor than your typical American macros that are the typical beers that people take on float trips. This is a beer that's going to be light in alcohol for you that you can session and drink all day as you're floating down the river. But it's got some flavors. It doesn't have that watery, corn sugar piss taste. You got an actual real beer here, and that's what I like about this place. Oh, I love that I've got the music in the background up here. I'm out on its deck out here, and I've got beautiful weather here. It's slightly cloudy. It's probably about 70 to 75, I'm guessing, but I got this slight breeze on me, and I'm out on this beautiful covered deck here. So, I mean, it's just a perfect day to sit out here. I'm so excited that my wife had the idea to bring me out here. I talked about coming out here, but, it's one of those things you say in passing. I said, one of these days I'd really like to go out there, but I really didn't have a plan. And she said, what if I take you out there for your birthday? I said, wow, that would be awesome. And then then our daughter was able to come, and that was nice. And then our son-in-law decided he wanted to come too, so that was nice too. That the whole family came up, and then the kid's godmother Cheryl came out, who's my wife's absolute best friend. They've known each other since college. I won't tell you how many years ago. Unfortunately, my best friend, her husband Chris, couldn't make it because he was sick. I talked to him the other day, and he wasn't sounding good at all that day, but he was really going to try to make it. So I know for him not to be here, as much as he likes to come out to do things like this, I know he must be really down and out, or he'd be here. It's funny though. Chris was a big drinker at one time. He was in the Navy, but he more or less quit drinking. He every great once in a while he'll let himself have one beer, or he'll taste stuff that I have, but he really doesn't drink anymore. But I think if he were out here, he'd probably at least sample something, because I think he would. He's a guy that would love this kind of atmosphere, and I like it because it's so different. I mean, I'm not a country guy. I grew up in the city, so I mean, I kind of like the breweries that I go to that are in downtowns or in industrial areas. But this is so nice because it is so completely different from any brewery I've ever been to personally. And most breweries really aren't. I mean, way out in the country like this is. I mean, it really is. I mean, you got to take a gravel road to get here. I mean, this is that kind of thing. So, anyways, wow. Drinking a full pint, I am going to have to start pacing myself. They do sell 4-ounce pours, so I'm thinking at some point I may have to switch over and do some 4-ounce pours. But I had a full pint of that honey basil. And I wanted a full pint of this float trip because I wanted to feel it from top to bottom. Um, they come in 16-ounce cans. And typically, when you're doing float trips, you're not nursing on beers. You drink them fairly quick. But I'm not going to be drinking this pint real fast, so I want to see how it does. A beer like this type of beer, this lighter ABV type of session ale, really is designed to drink a little colder, or traditionally anyway. But I want to see how this one does as it warms up to see if I had it in a place where it did warm up on me. Would it start to get thick and how like the cheap macros do when once they get warm, that corn syrup just gets I dribbled. I hate it when that happens. If you've ever had a warm PBR, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, once those things get past a certain temperature, it's all over, baby. So I doubt if it's going to get that warm on me. They come out of the tap not super duper cold, but pretty cold. It really is an enjoyable beer. It's got a nice, clean finish to it. It would be, if it comes out with an affordable price, it would be a great beer to take a float trip. And a lot of people will buy those really cheap 30 packs. Obviously, it's never going to get that cheap because you've got a good quality beer here. But if it has enough, I mean, it would be a good beer because you're not going to you're not going to want as many. Even though the alcohol is as low as the macros, there is a little more to it. It is going to fill you a little more, so you're not going to have the need to keep drinking unless you're just trying to get buzzed, and that's just silly anyway. You should be drinking for the enjoyment of drinking the alcohol and not for getting wasted. The getting wasted is the bonus, man. That's the bonus, baby. Oh, I have this great breeze that's coming through here right now, and it's just so awesome. I should probably stop this video because you're not going to watch 10 to 15 minutes of me. You're just not. I think I will because I got about half a beer left here, so I'm going to stop this one and then do a second part to the float trip ale. Boom.